Hello there again, it's me, Midnight Cinema 7, and this time I'm going to be reviewing a movie called 10 Cloverfield Lane, which was a movie that I saw yesterday, though it's been out for, I believe, like 2 weeks, about. And I remember when I saw trailers for this movie, I really wanted to see it, and the trailers were very shocking because the way that they were done made me think, oh, this is some weird thriller. But I couldn't really tell anything about the plot because there was no like words in the trailer, there was just music. And then suddenly people were talking and I'm like, "Oh my god, is that John Goodman?" And it looked great. And then I saw the title and I was very confused. So I'm like, "Wait, Cloverfield, wasn't that giant monster movie?" It's nothing like that movie. I really don't understand the warranting of the title. I mean, towards the end I maybe understand that, but I liked it nonetheless. I thought it was great. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold. Um, so I thought this movie was great overall. Great performances from all the three main actors, because there pretty much are only three actors. I mean, there's some woman. She doesn't really say much or do much, but she's good. There are pretty much only three actors throughout the entirety of the movie, and it's great. But what I'm here to talk about today is not just how much I love the movie and how impressed I am that this is this director's first feature-length film, and that's really impressive. So, I'm not really here to talk about that today. I'm here to talk about a specific spoiler from the movie, because I have seen a lot of reviews for this movie, both like as blog posts or videos. None of the people I see talk about this. Yes, it's a movie that shouldn't be spoiled because it's still new, but I'm going to because I've seen no one mention this, and for other people who have seen the movie, and if you have noticed this too, which was one of the most interesting things in writing I've ever seen in like recent years for film. Like I'm shocked no one said anything yet because it's like a brilliant thing that the writer did. I don't have his name on my mind right now, but I believe there are like two main writers for this movie, and they did a wonderful job. And they hit a lot of like very clever things into the script that I don't think many people picked up on. And those who did pick up on it, I think made reviews of the movie, but chose not to say anything. So now I feel like I'm going crazy because no one's saying anything about this. And I need to know if I'm picking up on something that isn't there, or it actually was like put into the script for a reason. The scene at the dinner table, which is seen partially in the trailers for the movie. In that scene, the character of Emmett makes a comment that they should play Monopoly because it would probably take about a year to finish a game. And then this prompts Michelle, the main woman-female lead role of the movie, to say, "Oh, I liked that game a lot, but as a kid, my favorite games, in this order, were Chutes and Ladders, Sorry, and Trouble." She said that line of dialogue, I don't know how exactly she said it, but she said it in such a way that it stuck in my brain, and my brain kind of told me, like, remember that. Remember that. I feel like that's gonna come up later somehow. I didn't know how it was gonna come up, but I felt like it was gonna come up later, and it did. Chutes and Ladders. Later on in the movie, not too long later, the character of Howard, who is played by John Goodman, who stole the show, let's just say, um, makes Michelle go up into like yeah, like a ventilation duct, and go to a room where she can fix like the air ventilation thing because they're down in a bunker and they need to keep that ventilation correct, and it's like malfunctioning, so she just turns it off and on. Then she sees a ladder which leads up to this window door-like thing with a lock on it. And she looks through the window and realizes some crazy stuff, which I'm not going to say right here, even though you're probably watching this knowing that I'm saying spoilers right now anyway, but I'm not going to say everything. Because chances are you've seen it, you already know. So that, I just looked at my boyfriend who I was seeing this movie with, and I'm like, Chutes and Ladders? And he was just like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? I'm like, didn't you say that before? And my boyfriend Anthony, he's like, nah, that's not. No, they wouldn't have brought that up again. We were talking freely because we were the only ones in the movie theater. We don't really. That would be terribly mean. Um, but then after the Chutes and Ladders, they're sorry, and I'm like, well, how are they gonna incorporate sorry? They can incorporate it in many ways. And I think if you've seen the movie, you know how sorry happened. Someone saying sorry and another person saying, I accept your apology, and it ending in a gunshot. Just saying, for the, well, not short time, I guess kind of like he had the least running time of all the actors. John Gallagher Jr., good job. I loved you in Spring Awakening, and I love you in this. I'm like, okay, so what's gonna be trouble? And I think that's pretty much just the climax of the movie. And you know how all that ends. But I find this funny because a lot of people were talking about, like, they mentioned the lock breaking before, like, how Howard talks about his time in, I believe, the Navy? And how they used to freeze locks and break them for, like, their captain's lock and to annoy him. And then she does that later on, towards the end of the movie. And, like, well, if they're clever enough to put something back into the script that was there before, who says they're not clever enough to incorporate those board game titles as something else? And I thought that was a really cool thing, and no reviews I've ever seen, even ones with spoilers, touched upon it, so am I seeing something that's not there? Am I the only one who's noticed? Or are there other people? Feel free to leave your answers in the comments. I give this movie, even though this isn't a real review, it's just discussion on writing and whatnot, brilliant writing. I give this movie 10 out of 10. It was the first movie in theaters that was horror to scare me in a long time.